Yo, guys, what is going on? It's SumitHD here, and I'm back with our Thinking Out Loud podcast series, and this is episode 3. And today we have two excellent photographers who have started from scratch and they have come up out of nowhere. So let us welcome Smith Harrier and Herschul Tucker.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Right, and before we get into this, we're going to ask them to introduce themselves before we get into the questions. So, Smith, please introduce yourself and tell us your story and how you got motivated.
Oh, so basically, as you said, my name is Smith Harrier. I'm 17 years old right now, and my story is pretty short. It's basically that my dad had a camera, a very old camera when I was really young, and he wouldn't really give me camera to use or to take pictures or videos or anything because it's obviously it was pretty expensive at that time, and he thought he was scared I'd drop it and just. But then as I grew, I really I was stubborn for camera because it was just fascinating to take pictures and stuff. So I begged for it. I was stubborn and stuff. They bought me a Nikon D5300, and since then I've been taking pictures. So obviously I started off in my house, just setting up random lightings using my flash from the phone. Um, let's say a teddy bear or a toy car or something like that, just doing photography with it. And then there's once I went to national park, um, and I took pictures of there of animals and stuff. And I mean, when I saw them later and when I showed my friends, they were like, "It's really good." So that kept me motivated, and I started doing more. And they were like, "I have the eye of a cameraman." So
Right.
that kept me going. And also, if there's anyone who wants a picture, let's say I'm in a group of friends or something, and they want a picture, I'd be like the one they'd ask or something.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That's actually really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Harshul, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so hi guys, my name is Herschul, and yeah, so I run the Instagram page called FrameHolt, and basically how I started off was I had a camera, but I wasn't like that into photography and all. Like I had a small interest in doing photography, but like there's so many different um genres of photography. Like there's portrait photography, there's wildlife and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really had like a specific type and all. So I just used to take pictures for my friends and all, like sporting events and all that. And then later, me and one of my friends, there was this camera camp at Olpejeta.
What's your project? Is it some pond or something?
No, it's not a pond. Olpejeta is actually a wildlife conservancy in Kenya. It has the last two remaining northern white rhinos, and so basically there was a camera camp held there. So me and one of my friends, he was already into wildlife photography. I was just into photography generally. So he had asked me because he knew like I was into photography. So if I wanted to come there with him, so I basically we went together then to Olpejeta Conservancy for the camera camp, and then that's when I saw like my interest in wildlife and taking pictures of wildlife, basically wildlife photography. And yeah,
Mm.
here I am now.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Right, and that's a truly inspirational story. So, thank you for introducing yourselves. Now, let's get on to the questions for today's episode. Krish.
Yeah. So this to both of you. What do you guys carry with you wherever you go? Whenever you know you're gonna take a picture, what's the one thing you have to carry apart from camera?
Let's have Herschel first.
Basically, of course, the obvious is camera, as you said, and lenses to go with them. But I have a habit of carrying duct tape with me wherever I go, as long as I have my camera. Like basically, it lives in my camera bag because it's
Mm-hmm.
like one thing you can use. It has so many uses, like mounting there's this certain type of shots that I do of behind the scenes. You guys will see them later on my Instagram. But basically, it's like to mount a camera on the camera, a phone clamp onto the camera. Like there's like I don't have like a screw cause or anything. So basically, that's like what I use it for most. Or it's just generally duct tape. It can temporarily fix anything. So that lives in my camera bag.
All right. So is that like your temporary tripod or something?
Not tripod exactly, because that type of shot, it's like basically the lens has a tripod mount, but so I flip that from the bottom, I turn it to the top, and then the phone clamp, I duct tape it to that. Then I mount my phone on that. So it's like
Oh, right.
behind the scenes, the phone can see what my camera is shooting, and
Oh,
it shows a
okay.
bit of the lens. So that's like the kind of shot that I do most
Okay.
with it.
What about
But yeah.
Smith?
So I have a camera bag. Right now, I've become more interested into videography. So I usually just take the whole camera bag. So in it, I have a camera, of course. I have one camera only, and I have two lenses. One is 75 to 300, and one is default. And with it, I have a filter for the lens, a mic that connects directly to the camera. I had a wireless mic also. My straps, and obviously my SD card and extra SD card and flash disk, and yeah,
Uh-huh.
pretty
Right.
much it.
And I know
Oh,
that
that's
SD
nice.
cards are actually like really important because if
Yeah,
you're in like the middle of filming something and your camera actually crashes, you're
yeah,
gone.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and also I'd like to have like an extra battery or something, but I don't have anything like that.
oh,
Yeah.
right, right. So my question
Yeah,
to Smith, let's start with Smith this time. Uh, you've mentioned a
yeah,
lot of gadgets that you've owned. So I want
yeah.
to ask you, is there anything out of all of those that you wish you did not like purchase or you did not buy?
Okay, so I have two things actually.
Right.
One was I have a gimbal right now, but I don't quite know how to use it yet. So like
Yeah.
even I mean I searched on YouTube and stuff, but I don't understand. I tried it myself. So the smooth shots that you should have with it, I don't really get them. I
Oh
don't know
yeah, yeah.
why.
I understand. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's pretty expensive. And my other thing was I had a drone. It's very cheap quality, so it could do the recording and stuff,
Yeah.
but it was really cheap. It was for like 10,000 shillings. And like the first day I bought it, literally flew away. So
Oh no.
yeah, I lost it.
It's a bit
What
sad.
about Hashul?
So the one thing that I absolutely regret buying is a monopod. This is basically it's like kind of a tripod, but you see like how a tripod has three legs. This basically only has one leg. It's like when you're shooting like on the go and like you just need something to stabilize the camera. Like tripod takes a lot of work to set it up, while monopod is just attached. You just strap the camera to the ground and it's like the monopod to the ground, which is attached to the camera, of course, and it just stabilizes it by itself. So, but then I came to realize like in wildlife photography, you're in the car itself, and in this, I like to carry my bean bag always because that's like I just rest it on the window and I set my lens against that, like rest my lens on that, so it stabilizes it. And the monopod, it kind of gets in the way because putting it on the seat or something, a car is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a cramped space. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
That's
so the
true.
monopod.
Oh, okay.
So of course the pictures that you guys take, they're surely edited, but does editing play a big role in the picture? Does it completely change the picture to make it get that effect that you really want it to get? Or a picture would be good without editing? Okay, Hashul can tell us
Absolutely.
for now.
Okay, so basically editing, it's like for wildlife photography, which is what I do, there's editing. It does play a role. Well, depending, it all comes down to the picture that you want it to go. Like, of course, there's no Photoshop in it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
we can't add things to it which are not natural,
Right.
because
Yeah,
that, like,
we get you.
it basically ruins the whole purpose of taking pictures of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and all. So all I use this app called Lightroom that basically allows me to just change around the colors and this like yeah colors and warmth and all that
Mm.
exposure. So there's no additional anything added to the pictures that are taken from the camera. So basically the raw images I get, just transport them, and then it's like it depends on the picture. Like if I want a black and white picture, then I'll change it to black and white and make some
Yeah.
changes if needed. And yeah, it's just basically just you can mess around with the color and make it better if you want. But
Right.
even
Mm.
otherwise, like wildlife pictures, you can post them straight raw
Straight.
images.
Yeah.
Like I have posted maybe one or two raw images straight from the camera. They haven't been touched at all.
Mm.
Right. So, thank you for that, Hashul. Smith, are you there?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So, did you hear the question?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Please let
So,
us know.
to be honest, of course, editing plays a very big role because it like completely changes the whole like how it looks. Really. Although,
Mm.
for me personally, I think photography is like the art of raw pictures. Like
Yeah.
if someone can actually pull out a good picture with raw photography, and
Yeah.
is that's art, Yeah,
Right.
it does play a very big role, and I actually started editing on my phone because I didn't know how to do it on my laptop before.
Oh,
Oh.
So
wow.
I used multiple apps, like switching from one which could do different things. Like one could move a background, let's say. One
Mm.
could change the. I actually used to use Instagram to edit like
Oh,
warmth and
wow.
stuff like that.
That's actually
And
thinking out of the box, guys. So, for you low
yeah,
budget dealers out there who's trying to force your dads to buy the software, you should learn something from Smick's photography.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
making
So
use
yeah,
of what he has. So he's using his assets without spending any money.
Yeah,
That is
guys.
inspirational, Smicks. Now, let's move to my next question. Uh, let's start with Smith this time. So you travel a lot, right, Smith?
yeah, quite.
So yeah, so since you've traveled around the world, like you've been to many places, and
Yeah,
you don't have the best camera in the world, but you do have a decent camera.
mhm,
So I'm sure you must be going through some challenging times, some challenging subjects, you know.
yeah.
So out of all that, apart from photography, what is it that makes you happy? What is it that keeps you happy from time to time?
Okay, so not related to photography or
Yeah,
Yeah.
not related, not related.
okay. So yeah, it's true. I don't have like the best camera in the world, obviously. It's actually a really old camera, and I actually don't know how to use any camera manually.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So because like taught myself how to use the camera. So I use it auto, and I just use the filters that are on a Nikon,
Right.
Yeah.
or any light that's on your face. I use the dark mode because it like darkens the background and puts you in front. It glows you up. But otherwise, I just use auto for any
Mm.
photography. But yeah,
Right.
usually so I've been to Turkey, and mostly it's is in Cappadocia. There's hot air balloons and stuff. I've seen many photos of such like very dramatic photos. And when I went, it was very low season, so there weren't really any hot air balloons and stuff. I wanted to take a picture, but I couldn't.
All
Mm.
So
right.
yeah, at such times, it's rather instead of photography, I'd rather live the moment
Wow.
itself.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is that's
that's those are
amazing.
words.
Yeah, because
That's
most of the
mind-blowing.
times when you're like just into photography, you're missing the whole moment itself, which
Hmm.
you don't really get
Wow.
back. So
Herschel,
And
what
with
is
Herschel,
right?
he's actually trying to become a streamer for games and stuff. So tell us about that.
Right. He actually had mentioned that he wants to start streaming Fortnite or start streaming some game, and I'm sure you have a setup ready by now. And since you already have a DSLR, you can use that as your camera. So let us know what is does gaming keep you happier than photography, or what is your level here?
Okay, so basically, as you said, I'm planning on starting to stream. I'm gonna start streaming Warzone actually. because
Right.
that's the game I play right now. And yeah, like I do have a setup and all, and gaming and all. Like it really makes me happy because that's like my second interest, you could say,
Right.
after
Yeah.
photography. And yeah, apart from photography, I think it's just traveling and gaming that makes me really happy.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, basically that.
yeah. Good luck
Amazing.
for your streaming. It's
Thank you.
gonna
I wish you all the
comment
best
soon.
for your streaming, man. Hope you get the views you want.
Thank you so much. Let's just hope.
Right.
And
Now moving to the last question, Krish.
so, for you guys, when you see a picture, when you take a picture, or when you're taking a perfect situation, what do you look for in the perfect picture?
Hashul.
There's no such thing as a perfect picture in photography, according to me, because photography is one thing, it's subjective,
Yeah.
very subjective. Like,
Right.
the certain pictures that I've taken, they may mean so much to me because I may have gone through a lot of trouble to get that one picture, like maybe travel to a certain place and then finally got on that one picture. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like that picture means a lot.
Right.
But
So it's the effort behind the picture.
yeah, it's the effort and all. Like, you see, photography is subjective. So that picture may mean like so much to me, and I put it on Instagram like so excited that, oh, this picture is going to do so well, and then I don't end up getting the reaction that I want,
Want, yeah,
because
right.
I've actually, because of all the effort that I put in, that I know of, all the effort, the audience doesn't know. They're just judging the picture as it is.
Right. Yeah. I I
So
I
there's
actually
no such
understand the
thing as
feeling.
a perfect picture. It's very subjective. Like everyone can like different pictures. A perfect
Mm,
picture to me is not necessarily a perfect picture to you.
yeah.
Right. Thank you for your opinion there. Smix, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, so for a perfect picture for me would be, I think if let's say I'm scrolling through Instagram and I
Right.
see a nice a photography picture,
Right.
and I'd ask myself,
I'm sorry, we have lost you there. Hello.
on someone else's page, for example, I'll be like, would I like it?
Yeah.
That's something perfect for me. And for me, I don't know why, but sunsets and colors like that really fascinate me. So
Uh-huh.
those are perfect pictures for me. And I have a slight CD of symmetry.
Right.
So me, like whenever I'm taking a picture, I need perfection in symmetry. That's
Right.
perfect.
That's inspirational again from Smix. Asking if there's any final question because we're running out of time.
No, not really from me.
Right, then I think we can wind up the third episode of Thinking Out Loud. I mean, thank you so much for these wonderful photographers for joining us. Herschel, Smith, thank you very much.
Wish you guys success. And
Thank you so
Always.
much for having us.
Thank you so
Right,
much.
and make sure you guys check their Instagrams. Link in the description for sure. Herschel has mentioned it already, but make sure you go to the link so you can get to the right account. And Smith as well. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'm sure, yeah, that wraps it up, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. This is Sumit HD